tube beads are a great way to make an accent using all kinds of techniques, and they make beautiful statement jewelry, necklaces or bracelets. In today's video, I'm going to show you two different ways to make tube beads using supplies from the Gifting Treasures Create-Along box. Hi there, Sandy Huntress here. Let's get creating. So the first thing you'll want to do for this project is actually pick your cord that you're going to build either your necklace or your bracelet on. I'm going to make a necklace. And this just makes everything else easier once you have the sizes chosen, rather than making your beads and then trying to decide what you're going to put it on. I have here about 20 inches of some braided leather cord, and this is 6mm or 1/4 inch. Then what you want to do is find a dowel that is the same size as your cord. You'll build your beads on this, and that way you know your beads will fit on your cord. Much better to do it in this order. I've covered my dowels. This one I covered with some parchment paper. This one just some printer paper. Use a glue stick and get those edges stuck down really well, because if they pop up while baking, what will happen is they will distort the shape of your beads and they won't be nice and round. I'm going to be using some of the magic transfer paper that came in that box, and also the color shift paint. So these are the colors that I've chosen. This kind of metallic purple and black. So I've chosen clay in those two colors as well. This is granite pearl and this is lilac. These are both rolled out on a number 4 on my pasta machine, which is about 1.3 millimeters. Before you start decorating your clay, what you want to do is wrap some of it around the dowel and make a mark. Cut inside that mark and take a measurement. I have already done this, and I know that it is just a smidge under 1 1/4 inches to go all the way around my dowel. This will help us to get our beads nicely shaped without having to do a lot of fiddling and wrecking our texture or design. So the dark color I am going to texture with the Bloom Tiles Deco discs that come in the set. Just going to add a couple tiny drops of Armor All to my clay. And the best way to texture with these discs is to pick up both pieces. Pick up your clay and pick up your disc and use your fingers and really press it into the disc. You absolutely need a release here. I prefer Armor All to water because water tends to bead up and I can't count on it to be everywhere. But I can wipe a very thin film of the Armor All over my entire sheet of clay, and then I know it's over the entire piece. And so I will have a good release and a nice deep impression. So you can kind of see as you're doing this which areas you've pressed and which you haven't. So just keep going until you know you have the entire thing embossed. And because of the release, it peels off nicely and we have a beautiful texture. Next, take your clay blade and trim one edge, and make sure when you do the trimming that you hold your blade straight up and down, perpendicular to your work surface. These cuts, it's very important that they be perfectly straight up and down. Now I have my ruler here. I love this little ruler. It's for quilting, but it's fantastic for this kind of a thing. It's just under 1 1/4 inches. So I'm not pressing that on, I'm just laying it there. And again, straight up and down with that blade. And I'll just trim off the kind of messy edges on both sides. These will be the ends of the beads. And you can make 1 or 2 or 3. I'm going to make, well, that would be a big one, but you can cut these whatever width you want. That will be the width of your beads. I'm going to make 2 beads out of this much. Now you want just a little bit of liquid clay. Putting the liquid clay on here will keep you from having to do a lot of pressing in order to get these 2 ends to bond together. So you won't have to do a lot of pressing and risk getting smoothing out your texture. You don't need much, just enough to make it a little tacky. Wrap it around your paper wrapped dowel and just kind of push those ends so that they're lying flat against the dowel, and then you just have to use a really light touch here. Just gentle taps, tapping those so that they go flat, so they're not pointed, but they're like this. Just gentle taps and kind of nudging them a little closer together. And I haven't flattened out my pattern much at all, but now I have a nice round bead. And repeat to make as many of these as you need for your bracelet or necklace. Once you have all of them made, then you can bake them. I bake them at the manufacturer's recommended temperature for 45 minutes. They're very thin. I just wanted to be sure that they were good and strong. And after baking, I am going to paint these with this color shift paint that came in my Create Along box. You may have gotten a different color. It's really cool, beautiful paint. It just has this great, this one is purple and it has this gold kind of flash. What you want to do when you're doing this painting is make sure you get paint down into all of those crevices, because we are going to sand it off the raised areas. So we want it to be in all those little depressions. Let it dry completely. Here's one of my beads that is baked. The paint has been drying overnight. And now you need a very fine sandpaper. This is 1000 grit sandpaper, nice and fine. And I've just glued it to a piece of fun foam to make a little sanding block. And then you can come and start sanding away the paint that's on the raised areas. You don't want to use a really coarse sandpaper because you could possibly sand down your entire design. These aren't real deep designs. So something nice and fine, and it's best to do this under running water or in a bowl of water. So just take a few moments, it won't take long, and you'll start to see your color come through. If you want a more dramatic difference, you could use black clay. I just kind of like the soft contrast. You can also sand your ends so they're flush. And here are a couple I sanded earlier. You could see you really get just this nice subtle contrast and that beautiful color shift flash. So that is how to do one type of bead. For the other type, we're going to have the colors go the other way. So we're going to have the purple with our design from our magic transfer paper. And I don't even need this entire sheet. I only need about 1.5 inches, so I'll just overcut this a little. I'm going to make these 1/2 inch beads, where the other ones are closer to 1 inch wide. And the way you use the magic transfer paper is you lay it on your clay and burnish it really well with your fingers, and then let it sit for a while. After you've let it sit for a while, then you can just rinse it under water, and like magic, the paper washes away, leaving the black design. Then set that aside and let it dry completely. Here are a few more things about using magic transfer paper. First of all, you can see in this corner over here, I didn't get a good transfer. That was likely my own fault in that I didn't burnish it down well in that corner. It's possible I didn't let it sit on the clay long enough before rinsing it under the faucet, but most likely I didn't burnish it down. So a little bit of patience and diligence in burnishing will make sure you get a nice clean transfer. Another thing you'll notice about this sheet is that on this side you can see a whitish haze. Those are just some paper fibers that didn't come off in the initial rinse. This transfer is very delicate once it's first rinsed, once the paper is first rinsed away and it's still wet. So you can blot it dry with a towel, a paper towel or a cloth, but then just leave it to dry completely on its own. It doesn't take very long, but just let it dry completely before you do anything else with it. If you still see some of this whitish haze, just bring it back under the water and start to rub in little circles with your finger. You'll be able to feel it. It feels a little bit slimy. And then all of a sudden, it'll just wash away and you'll feel that it's smooth. You'll be able to feel the difference. And then it'll be nice and clean and crisp as a transfer. So I am going to do the exact same thing I did with this that I did with my textured sheet. I'm going to cut strips that are 1.25 inches, just under 1.25 inches. Make sure you cut nice and straight up and down. And I am going to cut these about 1/2 inch wide. Let's see, I'll cut off that little bit that didn't transfer well. And then just cut these to whatever width you want. So I'm going to cut these a little bit more narrow than my other ones. Add a tiny bit of liquid clay to the edge and wrap it around my dowel just the exact same way I did this one. So here are these beads out of the oven. And sometimes you just have to give them a little snap and a twist and get them off of the paper. And here are my other beads. If I had it to do over again, I would definitely do the larger beads background in black so that I would have that alternating contrast. But I think these are really pretty and they go nicely with my cord. You just slide them onto your cord and then add your findings. To finish your ends, what you will need is some kind of bead cap or a cone. Sometimes these come with the end sealed and a loop here. If they don't, then you'll have to make your own, like I did on this piece with a head pin. Now sometimes the hole here is so big that your head pin goes right through, so just find yourself a bead that will fit in there and act as a stopper. So that will keep that from coming through. Make a loop. It can be a wrapped loop or a simple loop. I'll just do a wrapped loop here. If you want to know more about that, you can go to my channel, keepsakecrafts.net, and learn more about, just search on it. I've done a video on how to make wrapped loops. But you've probably seen this many times before. Or you could just do a simple loop, but a wrapped loop is more secure. On this end, I've used a jump ring to attach my clasp, and on the other end, I'll use a jump ring to attach a bit of extender chain. That just makes the necklace adjustable. And then you can use 2-part epoxy, or E6000 glue works fine too. You can just put a glob of glue in there, press this in, clean up the edges, leave it to dry, and you have a finished necklace. Again, this is Sandy Huntress for Create Along, wishing you happy creating.